Hi, this is Darshini in Spirit, and this is the 2021 intro to all the videos that are coming in, and that is going to be separated as usual with America, Canada, Asia, and South Pacific, obviously Australia, New Zealand, etc., and the other countries. I am not going to be able to cover every country, so I apologize. But it is a huge, massive job to do this. The other thing is I have put out a separate video on COVID, but that's just for America, which I will be updating as of about 36 hours ago. Actually, numbers changed. And people who don't realize and never had a reading with me or have interacted with me or taken classes don't realize that I actually draw information from the energy. I actually go into energy and dimensions, which I will address that in another, not exactly a future event, put it that way, probably in a book or a video. But basically, I read through pure energy, and that's why my readings and classes, etc., my predictions are a bit different. So it's up to you what you do, you'd like to take away from this. But the only reason, and some people think it's for ego, and I assure you I do not like being in front of the camera, and that is that I only do this because people are in absolute fear. We've lost over 1 million, 4 million, nearly 1.5 million, which will be reaching that, unfortunately, soon enough in the world, and how many millions have actually been affected in the way of, I'm talking about COVID obviously, but from extended family, but they've got, and they're going to suffer from more, how can I say this, more issues, or issues as I say in England, but issues of health problems. And these are reoccurring. They 99% will not go away. They will remain with you. They're the children, and there is a warning, by the way. If you get time, please see the COVID, and I'm going to repeat it for the other countries. And that is in February, where I see the coronavirus, COVID-19 rather, actually mutating again. It has mutated several times. But this mutation has started to a certain degree, but the mutation is actually infecting, or affecting rather, children. And it's from, and I call children from 28 down. So unfortunately, that is going to be quite catastrophic, and it's really aggressive with children who have even minor issues, or not minor, but issues with bronchitis, their immune system's low, things like that. So I am warning everybody, by February, this will actually be rearing its head. It's already actually mutating, has mutated, and it is going to start really getting aggressive round about near mid-December. But you'll see the real effects of it by February, I'm afraid, where the numbers are being shown. And this is all over the world, okay? So take care of your children. Even though they don't like it, you're going to have to be the strong guide. And even though I don't have children per se, I do advocate that I believe in tough love. That's how I was raised, and a lot of my generation was raised, but the tough love is literally to protect them, okay? I will do a separate video, not too sure when, because this one is going to, next few days are going to be massive with filming the predictions, but basically I'm going to try and do a video regarding foods. Now again, I am not an expert, I am not a professional, I haven't got certification, but I just want to make that disclosure. It is what you take away, and it's your instincts to either believe it or not or whatever. Do your checking yourself, your fact checking. I'm not here to, I'm here to hold your hand and be there for you, but not to tell you what's right and wrong, okay? We all lead our own lives. But basically, regarding the COVID, I am going to be putting out a video and giving you suggestions of, like, for instance, tomatoes. Tomatoes are great for helping your immune system. So there's certain foods that you could eat, and there's even a recipe I created a long time ago. It takes 20 minutes, and it's with lentils, which is a high form of protein, but it's red lentils. And I might even do a little cooking show on that one. But it's for those people who don't want to eat or can't eat or just don't have time, but they do need that nourishment, okay? And I'll cover that one in another video. So basically, this is just to say hi, okay? And let you know that I'm doing these videos again. Not too sure I'll do it next year, we'll see. But the COVID, basically, with some other situations, I'm afraid we're going to get a lot of fires in America and around the world. There are certain places where we will, typhoons and hurricanes, which I've covered, and I am going to do an additional one to the American hurricanes because I did forget to do the West Coast. So we're going to be hit with a few F5s, and actually 3 F5s, it could be 4, but there is one that's an sorry, not F, I apologize, I keep on doing that. It's category 5, but it's actually a category 4 that really tips into an area of 5. But that is what I'm concerned about. It's going to be very active in the Gulf, and that's in America, and South America obviously affects it. So I will put that additional video to support the one that I've done prior to this. Around the world, we're going to see far more drastic weather changes. So please be warned, please be prepared, which is what the only reason why I'm doing these is for you to not be in fear, but literally take some information, and if I'm wrong, which I honestly, sincerely hope I am wrong with every one of these predictions, because, you know, I realize they're quite devastating, some of them, but I hope I'm wrong, and I don't really care about right or wrong, if I'm right or wrong. It's more that I do worry that people get into the fear, so I believe that information actually not deflects fear, but handles fear a bit better. And there are a few classes, like Face Your Fears, I've taught, and it's really about realizing what dangers there are out there, but be prepared, and then your mind won't be going into sheer panic when something happens. At least you're being proactive. Not everybody will be affected by that kind of disaster, but we are going to see a considerable gain, different year with it. So I wish you luck. I wish your family huge amount of blessings and love. Remember, there are, maybe people don't like me for this, but I really do believe that there is a positive with this, not infection, but with what's going on, all the devastation, and that is to see who your real friends are, your family, and to love them and to find out what the real values of life are, and not this surface things that we've been chasing. Not everybody, I realize that, and I certainly, you know, don't do that, but we're all guilty in one way or the other on certain things. But we are realizing how life is so precious, and especially to those people who have lost loved ones. And please know, this is not a conspiracy theory. COVID is real, and my hearts go out to all the healthcare workers, every single one of them. They are sacrificing their lives and their families, by the way, because of what they do. And those are the true heroes here, the firefighters, all of the workers, health workers, and everybody associated with not only the pandemic, but also other disasters in this world. So please go up, and that's what my husband and I do, is we do go up to them and say thank you. Police, and you know, certain people who we know, we definitely appreciate, who are protecting and are there for us. So it's only a small little thing, but to them it's huge. Okay, and it'll make you feel good and realize to a different level how much you know, you realize how much they are appreciated in your life, but not only that, they are appreciated too. Anyway, blessings, love, and take care. And I will be uploading at different times throughout the year. If I find there's a category, oh, sorry, here we go. Yeah, category 5 or whatever the hurricane's doing, because it seems it's been pretty accurate on when I see it. I haven't put them out. It's been a crazy year, but I will try and do that for you guys, okay? Anyway, take care, blessings, and keep safe. Love to you all. Bye-bye. Asia. Now, Asia is going through quite a few huge typhoons, and it's to do with the planet change, I'm afraid. And this is to do, they're going to see a total of 7 devastating typhoons. I mean, level 5, and one is going to really hit right through this. I mean, touch not into Papua New Guinea, thankfully, but literally, sorry, it goes from here. And the storm system's massive. This typhoon is massive, and it moves like this towards Japan, but it peters out. But that one is devastating in the winds because it has time to really accumulate. These islands here are going to be more or less Fiji, Vanuatu, all of those islands are going to be in the eye is about here. I mean, it moves like this, so it is going to be affected with the kind of the shadow of it on the outskirts here. Another one will be coming in from here and then go through literally a loop and go hit the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and that way. And that is a nasty one too. That's like a 5. I don't know if there's a 6, but that is nasty, that one. Massive system again, typhoon. There's one coming in from here, which is going to hit Australia. And that one is going to not directly hit it, but that's like a level 3 to 4, but it's got a lot of flooding here because of that system. And it's on this coast here. New Zealand gets it as well on the outskirts. There's one coming in from here, which is funny, but anyway, I'm seeing it, and it's coming in like this, sorry, like this, and heading towards like Thailand, but it's not. More like it's kind of making like a loop. It's from here, but it makes a loop into India and Bangladesh, and that system. Sri Lanka gets it, India gets it, Bangladesh, that's when it really gets it. It's kind of from here, but it's built up. So that's level 4, and that's here. All right, Burma, and hits it. So there's a lot of flooding, heavy flooding in the northern and southern tips of India and northern of Sri Lanka. And Bangladesh is really going to be devastated. I'm seeing massive floods here from other storms as well, I'm afraid. Sorry to say. I know I'm kind of covering touches of Pacific, but I'll try and do that separately. Then for Japan, well, we're still talking about extreme weather. The lightning is going to be different too, so watch it. Those are going to start all kinds of electrical storms too. A huge amount in Australia, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, some in Thailand, but Burma, India, and Sri Lanka. But it's really to do with this state, this arranged, this area here. I'm just talking about Asia, okay? Increasing. After Christmas and what we call Boxing Day in England, the day after, and Canada knows what I'm talking about too. After Boxing Day, you'll start to see by about the 30th of December, I'm afraid, another peak. Now this peak is going to be really flooding. It's as if the world's gone mad, at least in America it has, and around the world, I'm afraid, to be honest, where it is the emergency units, the hospitals, the emergency wards, all of them are just being inundated. And it's as if they really fear that this is a different strain or something, because there are so many cases. And I hope to God I am wrong with all my predictions. And I've said this in practically every video. And if I haven't, I mean it. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't care, because I don't want to see this devastation that I'm seeing. But round about the 30th of December, I see the start of another massive peak, where it's superseding even the peaks that we're going through now in November. So, and this continues for a good 2.5 to 3 weeks. Now, I don't know what changed, but again, as I explained on the intro, the predictions, I read through energy. Energy is not static. We're all energy. Every single thing is energy. This pillow is energy. The walking sticks are energy. The stone is energy. Everything is energy. So we ourselves co-produce energy, and with harsh words or loving words or whatever it is, everything emits energy. Something has literally turned its ugly head, and the energy has gone and intensified, and that is why I'm doing this further video, which I am so sorry that I have to share it with you. But basically, I'm seeing this next wave, which is actually worse, coming in from practically all the world, and it's to do with really Christmas. That not that the people are getting together, especially more so, but as if they're clinging and they need each other, which I can quite understand. We're social beings, but please try and do it on the computer. If you haven't got a computer, even if you have to wave across to a field and see, or a park, but see them but not be around. I don't want people to be exposed, and especially the young ones. And I warned you about February being very, very dangerous for the children, because it's mutating, the COVID, and it's like a side mutation. It's not just one thing and it mutates. It's a side effect, and it literally mutates. A portion of it mutates for children, and that's on the other video. Then what else? I would say, you want to know how long it rides. It rides until about, I hate to say it, mostly through January 27th to the 29th. So there's a lot of isolation you'll have to do. You'll please be cautious. If you are having to go out, see doctors or essentials, please make sure that even gloves, but washing hands, but gloves, and definitely the masks, okay? And face shields if you can. But basically what we do is literally all the clothes that we wear outside, if we have to go to the shops or whatever, or doctor's appointments especially, immediately wash. And that way it'll help protect the rest of the family, if not yourself, hopefully. Okay? Now, that could be too extreme for some people, but quite frankly, it's kept us safe. Okay, so this one is going to go through. Then February, I did warn everybody about the mutation where it's the children being infected, but it's really the mutation, and these are children, as I said, I call children 28 down to babies. So with slight underlying problems, asthma or whatever, bronchitis, but not necessarily just that. So it's really, really frustrating where it's, again, overwhelming hospitals because they can't define it. And that's a huge thing. Then I've given the rest of the dates where it is going down slightly. It's more or less 50% of what we have, what we're going through now with the numbers are going to be in March. It won't be around about March 14th. So after March 14th, it starts gradually, very gradually going down, but it is definitely present until where we're seeing hardly any cases roundabout, and don't scream at me, November next year. So we are seeing this where we're having to, not that we've only lived with it all these months, nearly a year now, but it's going to be here for another year before we can literally get a hold of it. Now, the vaccines will be coming out, but the one that I see that is really affecting, I keep on seeing this, is in end of March, April. And that one is safer. Again, do what you need to, especially the healthcare workers and the older people. Take the vaccines, obviously, but that's your decision. That's your right, your decision. But there is one coming out that's still being developed and tested, and that won't come out until March, end of March, April. And beware of any side effects, not only that one, any vaccines, but you have to realize that this is not exactly here to stay, but it's not going to go away. The actual vaccine to get rid of it completely won't be produced for another two years, maybe about 18 months from now. It's mutating so fast, and it doesn't necessarily mutate to be nothing, but there is strength in it. Anyway, rambling on, I apologize, and hopefully this helps with any decisions you're making. Just be careful, please. All right? Anyway, blessings, peace, and love to you, and light. Take care. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Bye. So flooding, just quickly, as I said, there are going to be floods in Sri Lanka, and this is going to be mostly because of a storm coming in this way, but this whole area is going to be flooded. I mean, it's not exactly a tsunami. There are going to be earthquakes, and it could be associated with a tsunami, but this one here all this is coastal flooding from here all the way through here. It's like that basin is really flooded 3 times to nearly 4 times next year, sorry. Okay. Flooding in areas where it's low-level areas, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, Osaka, all of those are going to be flooded yellow, and here that I'm seeing, China. And the lower level up Philippine Islands as well, and Indonesian islands, I'm afraid. But there's a lot of, the rain seems to be, the monsoons seem to be longer and heavier rain, and that's what I'm a bit more concerned about it. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go over South Pacific here a bit, and it's really New Zealand, Australia first. But what I'm seeing is this area here seems to be very sensitive to climate change. and it's seeing the forefront of the climate change, where it's experiencing the intensity of the flooding and the flash flooding and the fires and lightning. It's a lot to do with it. I really see that the lightning is like in a curvature, a crescent, where it's all of this area up here, but it's literally this whole area is covered more intense with the lightning strikes. So the flooding I'm seeing is going to be quite devastating in the next few months until about May, June, and where it kind of starts leveling off. But there's floods everywhere in Australia, in the Northern Territories. I'll talk about fires in a minute, but basically we're seeing flooding as much as anything from 2 to even 8 feet in certain areas, in the lower level areas, where it just is too much to bear. And these people, sadly, these souls have already been hit how many years, and it just seems to be getting worse. The flooding is only, how can I say, aggravated into a worse condition because of the trees have been devastated with the fires from last year, which I believe unfortunately was correct, where it was all alight. That's on last year's video, or this year's video earlier. But basically you're going to see a lot of flooding, and the majority is going to be the systems are going to be more aggressive here, where there's more floods in this circular or crescent area, in this area, than and then this tip here, and that's where the flooding is. I'm more obviously concerned about the animals, what's left due to that devastation. So be careful and take warning about that, please, okay? And these are a lot of weird activity and storms that are coming in that are bringing it in from here and from here, okay? Now, next one is fires. Lightning. Now, I did put that last year that lightning seems to have changed, and it's got more intense, and it's a different type of lightning. But apparently something's gone wrong, is kind of correct on that, only because what we have been experiencing, as an example to that, in Oklahoma in September, there were 30,000 lightning strikes within an 8-mile area, and that was cloud to cloud as well, inclusive. But lightning has changed around the world, where it's getting far more intense. It is probably associated, and obviously it is, quite frankly, associated with the change of climate, the warmer climate, heat increasing, as I said. And in the heat video, I did forget to tell that we are going to experience a high temperature in Death Valley of about 132, not 130, but 132 to even 130, probably up to 136. We are experiencing records breaking there, but for lightning, we are going to see far more of it with, and that's why tornadoes too in that activity. Take precautions. If you're in water, get out of the pool. I can't believe people still stay in the water in the beach or in the pool. Yes, I've seen it, unfortunately, with children. Parents are clueless sometimes. Not all, obviously, but some are. Just take precautions, please. Thank you. Fires in Australia, quickly. And that is, I'm seeing fires here, actually around Perth, here, in that area. I mean, it's really, again, all fires, but these are far better controlled, but they're still quite devastating, and they eat up because the land hasn't recovered enough to come back, and it's going to be a really dry summer for you. So in the way that you had floods, but you have all rain, then you've got fires, and it's still coming in. on the fires. Okay, so I am sorry about that. Let me get rid of that. And it's Tasmania is getting flooding. New Zealand, here we go. Papua New Guinea. Yes, you're getting hit with the same system, to be honest. This whole system is being, this area here, all these South Pacific islands are being hit with this another system of rain and monsoons, and it's just devastating. Okay, so be warned and take precautions. Obviously you do. You're now in survival mode most of the time. Okay, so on New Zealand, I see that the upper island, these islands, so it's because of this, I told you it doesn't get, it's like a crescent. This part of New Zealand gets hit far more with floods than the lower, like Dunedin and Christchurch, but it's really Wellington, Auckland, and all of those are really far more hit with flooding. And then fires, it's more, I'm seeing it around here, in just outside Dunedin, well, not just outside, but here, and here, and it's forest fires. One is deliberately done here, so it's all over the place, but you know, there are about 17 major fires there. All right, sorry. Let's cover quickly terrorism in South Pacific. In New Zealand, I see 3 acts of terrorism. One, they've got a very good police force there too. So they do catch one of them, but it's just about to be doing, and it's a single person. Actually, he looks very young, 21, 22, and stops him. But there are some mass, I mean, I wouldn't say like anything from 3 to 7 people that one terrorist has. It's not exactly a bombing, but I think it's really tied to the Al-Qaeda, not even Taliban. So that's inside, and then in here. And really, one just outside Auckland as well. So there's a lot of things there, but you're very controlled with that. Australia, same thing. You've got about 15 probable terrorism acts here, and they're going to be more located in Brisbane, Sydney, and you know, the main ports, I'm afraid, Victoria, Adelaide, and Perth. Not so much in the northern districts. It's really down in this lower half, and I'm seeing 3 possible bombings, and the rest are more shootings. One is with a knife attack, and it's really to do with hate and racism. So I'm sorry about that. That's sad to see that. Okay, that's it. Just quickly, the earthquake activity. I hate to say it, but Indonesia is going to suffer from like a 7.8, maybe an 8.1. There are some islands there that is going to get hit, that's already being hit anyway. So they're going to be, it's so sad because they're such good people, all of them, everybody is, but it's just so sad to see it. Papua New Guinea, yes, they're going to have about, the top one will be about 6.4, around Vanuatu and Solomon Islands, those are going to get hit. Excuse me. New Zealand, sorry, let's cover Australia before New Zealand. Here you're going to see like a 5.8, 6.2, and that'll be off the coast. Perth, you know, all these little areas here. The activity, there is activity, and it's really coming from below, to be honest. Tasmania, there's about 3 earthquakes, but they're all minor. They're on 3.3s, maybe a 4.2. Okay, New Zealand. You're going to have activity around these islands, but it's about in this kind of crescent, whoops, like that. And there's going to be a 7.5, but it's pretty deep level, and that's around about October next year, I'm seeing. I hope I'm wrong. Then there's several 6s, 4s, and definitely a lot of the smaller ones. It's unfortunately the stabilization of the Earth on that one. Okay, PNG, earthquakes. There will be a 7.1 somewhere around here, which is kind of devastating because of their really poor villages, and there's several large earthquakes in this region here too, much as 8.1 again. Anything from 7.5 upwards. There are 6s and everything, but sadly that's 2. China and Russia I'm not really touching on. Don't think they listen to anything, so. Okay, and I think, yeah, sorry, I apologize. Don't need to do that. I apologize. So in Russia, I'll do quickly, but quite frankly, there's still a lot of demonstrations. There's a lot. COVID is hitting horribly. And regarding COVID on the countries, I'm really putting it to all the other countries. England's going to hit peaks in, oh sorry, I'll put it on another video, I apologize. But in Asia, they're remarkable in New Zealand. She's really got a good control about it. But in Australia, I feel there's going to be a peak in, they're hitting high numbers now, I think, and until about February it starts going down. Then by another peak in end of June, for some reason there's a reasonable peak, and then by August it seems to go to about 20% of where it is now, and by late October it's practically not eradicated but controlled. There's no such thing as eradication with that thing. Okay, and all the other countries, I'm afraid, they're only on a dive down. Same as Africa, I'm afraid this whole region here is really being devastated in their numbers with COVID and the severity of it. So theirs is on an upward climb until about March, April next year, where they're able to find more of control levels and be a bit more stringent in controlling that, which is hard to do with such large populations, I'm sorry to say. All right.